Okay, so the day is over in the Jonathan Majors trial for day 11, which means the closing arguments have ended and the jury deliberated and nothing's been decided yet. They will come back tomorrow. But let's get into all the details. So, closing arguments are over in Marvel actor Jonathan Majors' domestic violence trial, and jury could start deliberating his fate this afternoon. Obviously, this was the original article. The prosecution today ridiculed the defense's theory that the actor's accuser, Grace Jabbari, concocted a story of abuse as revenge for their breakup after a fight during a car ride in New York City on March 25th. What it really boils down to is 4 simple words: control, domination, manipulation, and abuse. Manhattan Assistant District Attorney Kelly Galloway told jurors, encouraging them to also pay attention to the relationship as Jabbari lived it in Majors' orbit. If this was a grand plan, why would she fail to cooperate? Galloway asked jurors, referring to Jabbari's well-documented reluctance at first to report the incident to police and prosecutors. And even when she went to a hospital, she didn't tell them what happened, Galloway said, adding, "Is that the action of someone whose sole intent is to bring a man down?" Galloway said that Jabbari testified truthfully over days on the stand, even at the risk of admitting her recall was incomplete and having uncomfortable personal details, such as her psychological profile, revealed in open court. Yeah, not a fun time. Why would she put herself through this? For what? Galloway asked the panel of 6 jurors and 2 alternates, evenly divided between men and women. They could begin deliberating this afternoon after Judge Michael Gaffey has given them instructions and a verdict sheet. Majors has pleaded not guilty to 4 counts of misdemeanor assault and harassment and could face up to a year in jail if convicted. Jabbari testified that when she spotted a text from another woman on Majors' phone during the car ride, she tried to grab the device, and that Majors responded with violence, striking her near the right ear and twisting her right hand and arm in a struggle for the phone. Galloway said that the fractured finger and the gash behind the earlobe that Jabbari suffered, and documented in photographs texted to a friend, were consistent with her account of the assault inside the vehicle. The prosecutor also said that video of Majors forcing Jabbari back into the car at an intersection in Chinatown, picking her up like a doll and shoving her into the car, was documented proof of the harassment charge. Majors sat nearby, sometimes with head down as if staring at the floor, and other times gazing toward a monitor near the jury that lawyers for both sides used to display evidence. Majors' lawyer Priya Chaudhry called Jabbari a liar in her closing argument, and that authorities bought her white lies, her big lies, and all her pretty little lies. She added, the entire case is built on Grace's lies, and boy does Grace lie. Chaudhry said that Jabbari went to a nightclub with a group of strangers after the incident and had a ball. There she is at the bar selecting champagne, Chaudhry said. There she is doing shots, all with her right hand. Chaudhry replayed video of Jabbari walking alone back into Majors' apartment building, where police found her the next morning, lying on the floor of a walk-in closet after Majors called 911. This whole trial has been about what happened in that car, even though the people want this trial to be about arguments from months and years ago, Chaudhry said. That's because what happened in the car is obvious. The real mystery is what happened after Grace got home. Jurors will decide whether Majors is guilty of inflicting injuries on Jabbari, lovely English there, during their chauffeured ride home from a night out in Brooklyn and Manhattan. Both sides agreed that a dispute broke out inside the car when Jabari spotted a text from another woman on Major's phone and tried to grab the device. Jabari testified that during the struggle, Major struck her in the head and violently bent back her right hand. The driver stopped, and the dispute spilled out of the vehicle onto a street corner in Chinatown. Surveillance video seen by jurors showed Majors forcing Jabari back into the car, which Chaudhry said was to protect her from traffic. It's the only video of the incident, and their driver testified that he didn't see Majors assaulting Jabari. Well, I have to admit, he was supposed to be the prosecution's witness. Never a good look when your own witness actually, testifies against the person he's supposed to be defending. So, yeah. And I assume when Chaudhry was saying, here she is doing this, here she is doing that, that they were playing the video of her at the nightclub at the time. She was treated hours later at a Manhattan hospital for a fractured finger and a laceration behind her ear, after police had found her in Major's apartment in Chelsea lying inside a wardrobe closet. Jurors saw police body camera video of the encounter. Hours between the fight and a 911 call from Majors that brought the NYPD to the home were a focus of the defense, because Jabari went night clubbing with a group of people she met on the street after exiting the vehicle. Majors had checked into a hotel and texted Jabari that he was breaking up with her. He went to the apartment in the morning and called 911, fearing that Jabari was suicidal based on a string of texts she had sent him after the fight, Chaudhry said in her opening statement. Chaudhry said that her client is the innocent victim of a vengeful ex who attacked him in the car and after he broke up with her set out to ruin him personally and professionally. The defense lawyer showed jurors video from inside the club of Jabari dancing, touching people, reaching into her purse, and holding a handrail with her right hand, not the actions of someone nursing a head injury or a fractured finger, according to Chaudhry. I have to admit, no, that doesn't sound like she would. And I assume instead of opening statement, that should have been closing statement, but okay. Chaudhry, who unsuccessfully defended writer-director Paul Haggis in a civil sexual assault trial, also oversaw an effort to get the NYPD to investigate Jabari for domestic violence against Majors. The actor filed a cross-complaint with police in June accusing Jabari, a London-based choreographer who met Majors on set of Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, of domestic violence. After Jabari turned herself into the police precinct in October, the Manhattan District Attorney's Office said it had looked into the matter and would not bring a case, calling the matter closed and sealed. The prosecution put several witnesses on the stand, with Jabari's own emotional testimony covering parts of 3 days. Jurors also heard from the couple's driver that night, NYPD officers who interviewed Jabari at the apartment and arrested Majors, the physician who treated Jabari at Bellevue Hospital, and an expert on domestic violence. The defense called 3 witnesses in their turn on Wednesday, the trial's last day of testimony. The NYPD detective who pursued an investigation of Jabari, an emergency surgeon who, as an expert witness, testified that Jabari's injuries were not consistent with her allegations, and Major's talent agent, who the actor called that morning in March. So nice of Deadline to only tell us about the last one and not tell us about the testimony of the other 2 yesterday. Very nice of them. Majors did not testify. He spent the first 8 trial days in Judge Michael Gaffey's Manhattan courtroom, seated between his lawyers, sometimes taking notes as various members of his family, someone proofread before publishing, please. As various members of his family and his girlfriend, Megan Good, looked on from the public gallery. A ceramic cup and a Bible with gold leaf pages that Majors brought to court every day rested on the table in front of him. Majors was depicted by the prosecution as troubled and volatile, with his accuser on the stand saying he veered between fits of jealous rage and threats to take his own life. It felt like I was walking around on eggshells, Jabari testified. Prosecutors used Major's own words against him to try to persuade the jury that he abused Jabari physically and emotionally during the couple's 2 years together and on March 25th. The 3-man, 3-woman jury heard Majors say that he needed a partner worthy of Martin Luther King Jr. and Barack Obama, and castigated Jabari for his shortcomings in audio that Jabari recorded without his knowledge in London 2022. And this is what is driving me crazy about the St. Jonathan Brigade that attacked me in one of my videos, because it's there. Just because you don't want to admit it, it's there. I'm a great man doing great things, Majors said on the recording. The woman that supports me needs to be a great woman and make sacrifices. Majors sat stone-faced in court on December 8th as texts between him and Jabari about an incident in London 6 months before his arrest in New York were read aloud. I will tell the doctor I bumped my head if I go, Jabari wrote of plans to get painkillers from a hospital. Majors wrote back that going to the hospital would lead to an investigation even if you do lie and they suspect something. With his career hanging by a thread, his lawyers fought to keep those texts out of the record, and then badgered the witness into being on that evidence unsealed. They succeeded at first in the case marked by delays, closed-door hearings, and months of legal maneuvering over misdemeanor criminal charges that normally end in plea deals and rarely culminate in a jury trial. Judge Gaffey ruled, however, that Chaudhry opened the door to the text because she impugned Jabari during cross-examination. With Majors looking on, Chaudhry played back video of that night and the next morning, and put up photos and screen grabs tracing Jabari's actions from when she exited the couple's chauffeured ride, allegedly with a fractured finger and a laceration behind one ear from being struck by Majors, and went to a nightclub with strangers, and then in the morning told police at Majors' apartment that he had assaulted her. Not one version of her story matches up with the photos, the videos, witness testimony, or common sense, Chaudhry said. Alright, it's like I've said previously, even if he did abuse her previously, which it, based on the text, sounds like he did, that doesn't mean he abused her this time. The jury in Jonathan Majors' domestic violence trial is now deliberating the actor's fate. The panel of 3 men and 3 women went behind closed doors in the past few minutes after hearing closing arguments from the Manhattan DA's office and Majors' defense team, with less than 2 hours of regularly scheduled court time left on the East Coast. It is very likely the jury will be back Friday for further deliberations on what has been just a little bit less than a 2-week trial. And yeah, this is from 12:44 p.m. And the original article was from 11:51 a.m. The Loki actor faces up to a year behind bars if convicted on the misdemeanor charges arising from the incident in late March with Majors' then long-term girlfriend, Grace Jabari. Self-described professional dancer, Jabari testified in the trial. Though present every day of the trial in NYC, Jonathan Majors did not testify in his own defense, despite whispers that he would possibly take the stand as a final witness for the defense. Now, it was suggested by Deadline, I think yesterday, that the defense was playing it safe by not having Majors testify. But I still find it weird. I don't know if that's playing it safe. I mean, maybe he is actually as volatile as we're being led to believe, and so they figured putting him on trial would just sink him. So just going by all the other evidence and not having him testify is the best play. I don't know. I just find it weird that they didn't have him testify. Alright, the final update. After just over an hour of initial deliberations, the jury in Jonathan Majors' domestic violence trial is wrapped up for the day. Judge Michael Gaffey just sent home the New York City panel of 3 men and 3 women. The jurors are set to return Friday for a second day of deliberations. However, that day won't be very long either. One of the jurors has an obligation that can't get out in the morning. So right now, the Majors jury is set to return at 2:15 p.m. Eastern Time on December 15th. Following closing arguments from the Manhattan District Attorney's Office and the defense earlier Thursday, the jury went behind closed doors around 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time. They clearly were very seriously weighing matters in the case, which could see the Loki actor behind bars for up to a year if found guilty, as the jury almost immediately had some big-ticket requests for the judge. Requests that will see Judge Gaffey rereading the 4 misdemeanor charges Majors faces. Tomorrow afternoon will also find the jury listening again to all of the 911 call Majors placed on March 25th, and re-watching the vivid video of Majors and then longtime girlfriend Grace Jabbari fighting outside a hired car in the streets at the intersection of Lafayette and Canal in NYC's Soho neighborhood on the night of March 24th. Jabbari testified that Majors hit her and tossed her around in the back of said car after she saw romantic texts on his phone from another woman. The incident allegedly resulted in a busted finger, head lacerations, and more for Jabbari. Claims that Majors and his team are 100% untrue, and that he is the injured party from a jealous Jabbari's aggression. Majors was arrested on March 25th by the NYPD and released soon afterwards once he appeared in front of a judge. He has long declared his innocence. Then recently and during the nearly 2-week trial that commenced on December 4th. So, that is everything that we have for today. And yes, it's very disheartening to find out that I was right and Deadline has not been telling me all the information. I might have to find another source for information from now on because this sucks. But anyway, with that said, I will see you guys. I don't know if it'll be tomorrow with this case. I don't know if there's going to be any updates. But if there are, I will definitely post updates tomorrow. Otherwise, I will see you guys in the next video.